You've seen leftists probably on your Facebook feed, Twitter feed, whatever feed you've been watching, freaking out about Roe v. Wade potentially being overturned. And the reason they're freaking out so incredibly badly this time around is that it looks like it actually will get overturned. And if you don't know, Roe v. Wade is the Supreme Court case that basically mandated that abortion be legal in all 50 U.S. states. So this is a really, really big topic in the pro-life world right now. And liberal feminists are freaking out about it for a couple different reasons. We've seen time and time again, I talked about this yesterday with Russ, and we talk about feminism and what that has done. And there's first wave feminism, which gave you the right to vote, second wave, which was equal pay. And now we have the dumpster fire that third wave feminism has devolved into, which is the intentional slaughter of unborn children based on the lie that women need to do that to be successful. So it's just been really, really bad all around. But yesterday, we actually have some images that were posted to the Students for Life Instagram page, and they took pictures of some of these horrible people and what they were doing. So let's see if we can bring them up. So here we have some of these pictures. On your left, it's really bad. That was actually a screen grab from a video that showed women taking abortive pills outside of the Supreme Court, because nothing says normal and rational like that. That definitely makes me want to believe your argument. Then you have a woman dressed in pink in the middle, dressed as female genitalia. Again, such a great argument from the left, super cohesive, really makes you ponder what the heck they're believing. And then finally, you have the third picture on the right of your screen, which is Big Bird, the cartoon animal, which says Big Bird supports abortion for all, which really doesn't make sense considering that Big Bird is for little children, and that's pretty much killing its main audience. And then you'll see the amazing draped communist sash over Big Bird. So it was just a disaster.
Oh, I didn't even catch the communist sash.
Yeah.
Marxist Big Bird.
Yeah, Marxist Big Bird.
Big Bird the Bolshevik.
Yeah, so it's just been absolutely crazy. And so knowing that Roe v. Wade is probably going to be overturned if we had to place a bet, my question for you guys is do you think that the feminists are going to now take to the streets to burn some stuff down and take some notes from BLM?
Cameron, do you think Roe v. Wade will be overturned?
Ooh.
That was a big prediction from Tara.
Yeah.
I don't think it will.
You don't?
I don't think Roberts and Kavanaugh have it in them. I don't. There is not enough evidence that Kavanaugh would vote to overturn his record on abortion is like very narrow. And I don't think to say that Roberts is even a conservative justice just feels laughable at this point based on a lot of recent court decisions. But something that you mentioned, you were pulling up a lot of images of the protests and these different things. And I want to say that the discussion, especially if Roe versus Wade does get overturned, the political discourse, especially among young people and just in the country in general, is going to go berserk. If you already think it has gone berserk, it's going to go from about an 11 to about a 25 on a scale of 1 to 10. Mm-hmm. So it is going to be hell for the next few weeks, whatever, depending on if they decide to uphold the Mississippi law and then do that next step to reverse Roe versus Wade. But on that same note, I think something that we have to keep in mind here is there is a language misunderstanding when we talk about abortion, and we are going to see this drastically play out in the next few weeks. And to basically explain this, the people who are supportive of these abortion laws, they call them abortion rights, are viewing this a lot of times as not as the thing, as the baby in their, when they're pregnant, they don't view that as life at a certain point. Or a lot of times it's conditional in a sense where it's like, oh, if the woman wants the baby, it's life. If they don't, it's not life.
Yeah.
It's sort of Schrodinger's fetus.
So it's very tough to have that conversation when that's the basis of it. But I think something to keep in mind is, although we are seeing things that I think are very malintentioned, we do need to be careful in terms of generalizations and how we have discussions about this in the coming weeks and having effective discourse with this. And
what generalization? What are you talking about?
Well, when we started, we can't just say, oh, everyone who's pro-abortion is a horrible person. Everyone out there protesting.
I don't think I said that, but
no, you said horrible people.
Well, those people.
I
was talking about the people on the screen.
People with the signs.
Yeah, not.
And I think something we need to be careful of is even with the most extreme, we need to be very careful with our language with it. And I say that because the amount of misinformation that the media puts out and peddles out about abortion is so awful that what these people think they are doing is morally okay. And if we start by opening a conversation with their horrible people, we're already starting from a place that isn't going to convince the people who are on the fence from getting them over to our side.
Well, okay, well, maybe, but rewind just a second there. I mean, everybody would cast themselves as the good guy in any scenario. I mean, if I understand you right, you're saying because these people think that what they're doing is right, they can't be categorized. Okay, I misunderstand.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that what they are doing is right because they think they are right.
I just heard you endorse abortion.
I just totally endorse it. No. Okay. Anyways, but what I am trying to say here is I think when we are having discussions with people who are going to be on the fence, we need to be careful in the sense that we do not categorize.
Those people aren't on the fence who are dressed up like that.
I'm talking about being careful of making generalizations when we are talking with people who are on the fence. Does that make sense?
It does, and there is some wisdom in that. The Apostle Paul said, "Let your moderation be known in all things, as much as possible, be at peace with all men." However, when the Lord Jesus talked to crowds, he would intentionally say things that would tick them off and drive people away. He would. I mean, he called the Pharisees a brood of vipers. He called them whitewashed sepulchres, tombs that were actually unclean inside. So, I mean, I think there's a difference between seeing a terrified woman quivering as she walks into an abortion clinic, worried about what she's going to do, and saying that's a horrible person. I think there's a difference between that and a group of people who are arguing that they are actually in mid-abortion by taking a pill.
Yeah, and
I
like
think
jumping
there's
up
a
and
difference
down.
between, right?
Yeah, and like